If you have been to my stream, you may have noticed these little beans right here on the bottom right. For those who are not aware, these are my mod PNGs. The mod PNGs are very useful for streamers and for chat as well. Basically, it lets you know if your mods are available and here to help out, or if your mods are not active right now. They're very useful. I've used them in my streams a couple of times to let me know if my mods are available, who's available exactly, and they add a little touch to the screen as well. And today, I'll be showing you how to set them up. The things you will need are A. A streaming program like OBS or Streamlabs OBS. B. You're gonna need the MixItUp program. If you don't have it installed, I will put the link to install it in the description. D. You need PNG of your mods. Please make sure they're not copyrighted. D. A drawing and editing program where you can edit the layers. With all your resources, let's get started. Step 1 is to gather your moderator PNGs. You can ask your moderators for the PNGs, but if you want a more similar style amongst all your moderator PNGs, I do recommend commissioning an artist who does model chibi art. Ideally, if you guys want a recommendation, I recommend Moonlight Sonata. She is the one that currently did my recent moderator PNGs. She is open right now, so if you guys want a commissioner, I recommend it. Once you've got your moderator PNGs, we're now going to bring them into the editing program. For this video, I'll be using Clip Studio Paint, but you can use anything as long as you're able to edit. So what we're doing is that we are going to make two versions of the moderator PNGs. One version which will be lit up, which you don't have to edit, and then a second version which is the moderator PNGs but dim. For this video, I'll be using my PNG as an example, hello, and I'll be showing you guys how to make it dim on Clip Studio Paint. So what you want to do is you want to zoom in, you want to make a new layer, and on this new layer, you're going to want to grab the paintbrush and you want to make it the dark color black. And what you're going to do is that you're going to paint over your moderator PNG. Now this looks crazy, but trust in the process because this will help you dim the image for later. You don't have to cover the entire screen, by the way. You don't have to cover the entire square. Ideally, it's just for you to cover as much of the original PNG as you can. Once you've covered all of the PNG, you want to go over to Clip Studios and you want to hover over the clip to layer below. By doing this, the top layer, which we have painted black, will clip to the bottom PNG, as you can see here. And by doing this, we can lower the opacity to make it dim, as you can see here. This little bar right here will help us determine the darkness of the previous layer. Now, if we move it all the way to the left, basically zero opacity. If we move it all the way to the right, full opacity. What we're trying to do here is make it a good amount of opacity so that it looks dim, not as light as it was before. So ideally, if you want to do maybe 70 or 75, that is totally fine. Whatever is your want, basically, whatever you think is ideal. For this example, I'll go with 75. And do keep in mind, you need to do this for all your moderator PNGs. So if you have 6 moderators, you're gonna have to do this for 6 moderator PNGs. If you have only 3, then you'll have to do this to 3 moderator PNGs. Once you have made all your PNGs dimmed, you want to make sure to save them all into one folder, ideally, just so that way you have everything in one spot. And once you finish dimming them, it's time to move on to the next step. The next step is to set up your moderator PNGs on MixItUp. Now, how do we do this? So once you open up your MixItUp bot, you should be appearing on this screen. If not, just ideally wherever you are at, click on the top 3 bars on the top left. And what you want to do is that you want to go down to overlay widgets. So once you click on this, it's going to send you to the screen. As you can tell, I already have my stuff set up. But what you want to do here is that you want to set up your lit PNG and your dimmed PNG of your moderators. To do this, you want to go down to the bottom of the program. It says right here a button that says Add Overlay Widget. So you want to click on that, and then it'll open up a new window. As you can see right here, it'll ask you what type of overlay type would you want to create. Ideally, there's stuff like chat messages, end credits, event lists. For the sake of this tutorial, we're going to click on Image. Once you click on Image, you want to select Next, and it'll bring you over to this window. Once you're on this window, you're now able to upload your moderator PNG. So the first steps you want to do is that you want to type in a name. Because this will be our dim version of the PNG, we're going to write civil dimmed. Basically, this means is that it'll be a dim version of the PNG, basically when it's not active. Keep overlay as default. Do not edit the refresh time. And then over here where it says image path file path / URL, this is where you're going to want to select the moderator PNG, ideally the dim version. Once you updated your moderator PNGs right here, we're now going to choose where to position them on screen. Just a heads up though that unfortunately MixItUp does not have the ability to rotate the widgets. So for this tutorial, we're going to keep them on the bottom of the screen. You can't put them on the top left, top, and then top right. However, it does not look ideal. So for this example, we're going to choose to put them on the bottom. But when I do my moderator positions, I usually go with percentage. The reason why is because it gives me more freedom on where to adjust and where to put them at. So we want to click over here. And because this is the dim version, we want to make it so they're not peeping all the way. We want to keep them so it's just a little heads peeking out when they're dimming. So for this example, we want to move the position percentage all the way to 100. That way it's not going to show their entire head. And then for the positioning of where they're at, left or right, we're going to move them about 85% to the left. Layer position, we don't need to care about that too much. It's just mostly if you want to make the PNG forward or behind a different PNG. With that all set up, we can now press save. And there it is. The civil PNG right in front of my body. Oh wait, but the civil dim PNG is enormous. It's blocking my body. What do? We can solve this. What you want to do is that you want to find the PNG of civil dim, or what your moderator PNG is called. You want to go all the way to the right, and you want to click on the pencil inside a box. This is called Edit Command, and basically if you mess up, if you want to change something, you can click on this button, and it'll let you re-edit your PNG. Now, how do we edit the size of our PNGs if it's too big? What you want to do is you see right here where it says width pixels, height pixels. Basically, this will determine how big of the PNG you want it to be. Since it's currently on default, we want to make it a little bit smaller. So for me, in my case, I usually use my PNGs to about 150 by 150 pixels. So we're going to try that as an example. Once we type that in, we want to press save. And there you go. The PNG is a lot smaller than it was originally. Now again, you can mess around with the settings, see what numbers you like. But ideally for me, I like keeping it at 150 because it's not that big and it's not going to block the screen. What we're going to do right now is that we're going to redo our steps before, but we're going to do this with the lit version of the PNG. So what you want to do is go back to the bottom, add overlay widget, select image type, go to next, and then a name. Again, you can choose what purpose you want the name to be as. For my situation, I like to go with the moderator name and then typing lit. The reason why I type lit is that it's the lighter version of PNG. Again, not editing the overlay, not editing the refresh time. And then where it says image file path / URL, we're going to upload the default version of the PNG. Once you've selected the default version of the PNG, we're going to do the same steps as before. The percentage from the left will be 85. Right there. However, from the top, we're not going to make it all the way to 100. Since this will be the lighter version, we want it to peak all the way to the top. So we're going to make this maybe... we'll do 85. And also do keep in mind if the PNG is too big, make sure to size it the way you want. So again, as mentioned earlier, we're going to do 150 by 150. Press save. And there you go. There is the default / lighter version of the PNG. As you can tell, it's a little bit above. So we're going to have to edit it so that way it's just fleshed out on this bottom of the screen. After a little bit of tweaking, there she is on the bottom of the screen. If you want to use my numbers as reference, I used for the top, I made it from 94 for the lit, 100 for the dim. And then again, from left, you choose whatever numbers you want. For the width and the height, I did 150 by 150. But again, it is up to your preference how big you want to be, where you want to be at. Test around and see. Now before we go on to the commands, what I highly recommend is to disable, aka hide, the lighter version of your mod PNGs. This way it won't take effect to have them both on top of each other. and it makes it a lot more simplistic. So you want to click on the lit version, you want to toggle it off, and now we move on to commands. How to get to commands is that you want to go to the top 3 bars on the top left, you want to go to the commands tab, and here you are in the commands tab. As you can see, I've already pre-made my own, but again, for this tutorial, we're going to start from scratch. So to start from scratch, you want to click on the bottom where it says new command, and then you have this little window popping up to make your command. Once in the command editor window, what you want to do is that you want to name your command. This is not essential, but it'll make it so it's easier to find the command and how to organize it and edit it faster. So because this is just a check-in, we'll just type it as mod check-in, just so we can find it a lot faster. Command groups are not too big of a deal if you want to organize your commands a lot better. I recommend doing this. As you can see from the window behind me, I have it as scout commands, mod commands, ungroup. It just makes it better organized. You have everything in one section. And then lastly, the main thing we're looking at here is chat triggers. Basically, this is the command we're going to type in chat for the moderators when they want to check in and out of modding. So again, for the sake of the tutorial, we're going to write check in, all in lowercase, so it makes it easier. One more thing though before we move on to this box. When you see the usage requirements box right here on the right, you want to select the key and person icon. This will be called user roles. Now what you want to do here is click on it, go down to role, and select moderator. Now what this entails is that what role you select are the only people that can use those commands. Basically, it's so that way regulars, randoms, they don't use this command. Only moderators can use this. And if you want to make this for anybody else, if you want to make a streamer only command, subscriber only command, followers only command, you can. But if you want to keep it open to everybody, just leave it on user. But again, because this is for the moderators, we're going to set it to moderator role. Now we'll move on to actions. For those of you new to MixItUp, actions are basically the way that the command will run. So how do we add actions? What you want to do is at the bottom of the window, you just see an action section. It should be next to a plus sign. And for this command, we're going to click on the actions. We want to scroll, and then you want to find the conditionals action. Once you find it, select it, then press the plus sign to the right of it. This is how you add an action to the command. Once here, we're going to start filling out our actions inside the conditional action. So you see in the conditional action, you should see an area called action. Just like we saw on the bottom window of the entire command editor, you're going to want to select here, and you're going to want to add the following action. You're going to click on it, select overlay image and videos, and you're going to add 2 of the overlay image and videos. So click on the plus sign, add once, then add twice. Now we're going to add one more action, select add this again, scroll up, select chat message, then press the plus sign again, and there we should have 2 overlay actions and 1 chat message action. Now to go down the list of the actions, we're going to start with the main conditional action. As you can see here, you should see a text box saying first value. Next to it should be compare, and then lastly we're going to have second value. What these are basically, since we already locked this command under moderators, only mods can use these. However, if you want your mods to activate their specific PNGs, we gotta make it even more specific. This is what the first value, second value, and compare come in. Now, to start off, we're gonna start filling in our first value. This first value is what's gonna be the identifier. What are we looking for to activate the command? If you don't know MixItUp special identifiers, you can go to the right. It is text that says special identifiers, and if you click on it, it will take you to a separate website that will show all of MixItUp special identifiers, whether it be usernames or more. This will be a big help. But for the video, we're going to fill in first value ahead of time, such as this. $bill sign, username. Now what this special identifier does is it'll find the particular username of the user that's saying the command. Next to that will be compare. We're going to leave that as is, but if you guys want to look on ahead, here are the other values that have the features you can use for the values. But again, we're going to use the equal sign because we're looking for the exact user to activate this command. Then lastly, second value is going to be the username, the one who's going to be activating that command in particular. Because this will be me, I'll fill in my username, civil for Tissimo. And do not worry about it being case sensitive or not. Unless you toggle up here the case sensitive toggle, it should be fine as long as you have the name correct in spelling. Lowercase or uppercase should not matter. Next, we're going to go move on deeper into the conditionals actions. We're going to start with the overlay image and videos. Whatever we do here will work similarly to the next overlay image and videos action. So what you want to do is go over to the actions tab right here, select it, and you're going to want to find show and hide widget. Since we set the PNGs as an overlay widget previously, we're going to select this. And again, we're going to do this for both overlay image and video actions. Now that we set the actions as show and hide widgets for both actions, you want to click on widget, have it scroll down, and look for the user PNG you're looking for this particular user. So since this is my command, I'm going to look for my PNG. So we're going to look for civil, and because this is checking in, we're going to select civil dim. And again, it's not going to be the exact same one. If civil dim is on one action, then the other overlay image and video should be civil lit. So you want to select widget again, find the opposite civil lit, and then select it, or whatever you name your pop up, pop down PNG. Now this is where it's going to be essential. You can see right here next to the widget, you're going to see a toggle called visible. What this means is that once the command is activated, if you enable the toggle, if you toggle on visible, if I do the command check-in, it's gonna show the visibility of that widget. So in this case, I just toggled on the visibility of dim. However, because this is me checking in, we don't want my dim PNG to be shown. We want the lighter version to be shown. So I'm gonna untoggle visible, and then we're gonna toggle lit. Now the last thing we want to do in this command is the chat message, and this is very simple. Just give me whatever chat message you want sent to the chat to indicate that the mods have, joined the stream. So for the sake of the video, we're gonna use a very basic message, which is $, username is in chat. And again, this can be whatever you want to be, whatever your theme is, but it should indicate if your mods are in the chat. So with all of that settled, we are going to press save. We're gonna press save, and now we're gonna test and see if it works. Now to test if our command works. So as you can see right here on the bottom right, you see little mini saves widget right there, the little plushie, and I did pop up my stream chat. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna type the command we typed in the command editor to show that we're in the chat. So how do we do this? So as I mentioned before, I made the chat trigger !, check in. So what we're gonna do, keep an eye on a little symbol here in the bottom right. In the chat box, I'm gonna type in the chat box, ! check in. Once it all looks clear, I'm gonna press the chat button, send a message to the chat, and there you go! Tissimo is in chat. And as you can see here, the little plush did pop up. So we can be safe to say it works. Now that we know that our checkout command works, we're now going to make a checkout command. Basically, the checkout command will help your mods let you know that if the moderator has to leave due to errands, if they're busy, or not able to focus on the stream, they get the checkout command to let you know they won't be in the stream. Now, how do we make the checkout command? It's going to be the exact same way we made the check-in. To repeat the same steps, add the conditionals, add the overlays, and the chat messages. However, the only difference we're going to do for this command compared to the check-in is that instead of the lit PNG being visible, we're going to make the dim PNG visible. So you want to toggle the visible for dim on, and then for lit, you want to toggle that off. And then for the chat messages, because the person is leaving the chat, you want to say instead, username is no longer in chat. That way you know if your mod is not there anymore. And that is how you make a mod PNGs command and how to make them pop up using MixItUp. I made this tutorial because a friend asked me how to do it, so I thought it'd be easier to share this knowledge with you all. If you guys have any questions about MixItUp, is anything you guys want to see, if you guys see from my streams or from others, let me know in the comments below. I'll see if I can do them or not, but hopefully in the future I can do more tutorials. Thank you for coming. Have a good time zone. Bye bye.